Dear students, good evening. Welcome you all to Unit 3 of the chapter My Greatest Olympic Prize. In our last classes, we have successfully completed 2 units. In Unit 1, we have discussed how writer Jesse Owens reached Berlin. In second unit, we discussed how he was a failure man in his attempt. It means how he could not qualify for the main jump, how he had anger in himself. Yes, and how the writer, how Jesse Owens was helped by his counterpart, his German counterpart, Lang, to be qualified for the main jump. It was the discussion. Yes or no? Students, in the third unit, it is said that a friend in need is friend indeed. Yes, who is there to help you at the hour of need is the best friend. Yes, whether he has to compete with us, whether he is the number one competitor in a competition. So the same thing happened in a life of material. Jesse Owens, yes, our writer or the author. That evening he went to Lujlang's room in the Olympics village, Lujlang's quarter in the Olympics village, to thank him for his help. Yes, what did he do there? What the matter was there? What did they discuss that together is the topic we are going to discuss today. Yes, it is the final part of the story, My Greatest Olympic Prize. Let's discuss. That night, I walked over to Lujlang's room in the Olympic village to thank him. I knew that it had not been for him, I probably would not be jumping to the final that following day. We sat in his quarters and talked for 2 hours about track and field and ourselves, the world situation, and a dozen of other things. It means, yes, in order to give him thanks for his help. That night, I means the writer. That night, yes, I means the writer. Walked over means went. Walked over. Walk over is a phrasal verb. Walk over is a phrasal verb. Its meaning is went. It means that night the writer went to Lujlang's room in the Olympics village. Yes, what is Olympics village? Wherever the Olympic venue is there. Yes, there are a large number of temporary houses, makeshift houses, prepared as the quarter for the players from different parts of the world. Yes, as the short stay home. Like that, the writer went to Lujlang's room that night. Yes, in the Olympic village. I knew that it had not been for him. Look, students, if it had not been for him, I probably would not be jumping in the final. There is a if clause. It's just about probability. It is in the second type of conditional. The sentence says that the writer realized himself, if there had not been Lujlang that day, jadi sedina Lujlang na thante, it would not be proper in part of the writer to qualify for the main jump. Who repented? Who realized so? The writer realized so. What did the writer realize? The writer realized that if there had not been Lujlang that day, yes, it would not be probable. It would be a dream in part of the writer to qualify for the main jump in 1936 Berlin Olympics. We sat in his quarter. We means both the writer and his German counterpart, Lang. Both of them sat for 2 hours. They sat and talked for 2 hours. Who sat and talked for 2 hours? Both the writer and Lang sat there and talked for 2 hours. Yes. What did they? Now the question come up to our mind. What did they discuss for long 2 hours sitting together in the quarter? Yes, that they discussed about track and field. They discussed what is the condition of track, how the track should be drawn. Yes, and how the field should be, as well as they talked about themselves. Yes, they talked about the situation of the games and sports in the world, as well as a dozen of other things. So whatever they discussed, that they were related to games and sports. When I finally got to leave, we both knew that a real friendship had been formed. After 2 hours, when the writer got ready to leave the place, and both of them got off. 2 ଘଣ୍ଟା ପରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଲେଖକ ସେ ଜାଗା ଛାଡ଼ି ନିଜ ରୁମ୍କୁ ଫେରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହିଁଲେ, and both of them got off, ଏବଂ ଉଭୟ କ'ଣ କଲେ, got off, ଠିଆ ରହିଲେ. Both of them realized, neither the writer nor Leslang, both of them realized that there had been a real friendship framed between the two. ସେମାନେ ଉଭୟ ଅନୁଭବ କରିସାରିଥିଲେ ଯେ ସେ ଦୁଇ ଜଣ ଭିତରେ କ'ଣ ଆସିଯାଇଥିଲା, ଏକ ସୁନ୍ଦର ବନ୍ଧୁତ୍ୱ ତିଆରି ହୋଇସାରିଥିଲା. ୟେସ୍, who had the friendship between, yes, the friendship had between the writer and Leslang. Yes, is there any problem in discussion? I don't think so. Writer also realized that the very next day Leslang would go to the field to have a contest with the writer over the gold medal for long jump. Yes, because he was a real competitor, and a real competitor never set back or get back in a competition. The sense of competition should be there, it must be there, because he's a real player and he was working spiritfully for the nation. Yes, though he was not a student of Nigerian school of thought. So the writer thought Luz would go out to the field the next day trying to beat me if he could. The writer realized that this Leslang would go to the field the very next day. Asanta kalro competition re Leslang main event re mate compete karibako field upar ku jibe, and he would try to beat me there, and he would try to defeat me there, ebong se seti mate harai debako bi chesta karibe. If he could, if he had the inner potentiality, if he had the inner potentiality. Who thought so? Thought the writer. But he knew that, I knew that he wanted to do me my best, even if that meant my winning. Again the writer thought in its reverse. Yes, he had the counter, he weighed the line in counter to himself. He said, in case, though Leslang wanted so, though Leslang would ready as a player, as a counterpart, as a competitor, would go to the field. Yes, but he had the compassion for the writer in his heart. He wanted the writer should do his best. Yes, show the skillful performance, and if he had the inner potentiality, it is better to get the gold medal in a long jump. Yes, what a player would not think of ever in his life, Leslang that day thought so. Yes, helping someone at the point of necessary, yes, is important more than the competition. As it turned out means the time came. Yes, that is introduced as it appeared, means that time, when the time arrived, ଯେତେବେଳେ ସମୟ ଆସି ପହଞ୍ଚିଲା. Luz broke his own past record. Leslang could break his own past record. He could not break the death record. Yes, he was able to break his own past record. I mean, he achieved somewhat more than his past achievement. But he could not touch to the target, but he could not touch to the record. In doing so, students, in doing so, by doing so, ଯଦି କାମଟା ସରିଯାଇଛି ଏମିତି କରି କରି ବୋଲି କହିଲା ବେଳେ by doing so, in doing so ଏଭଳି କରିବା ଦ୍ୱାରା ହେଲା, in doing so he pushed me to a peak of performance. In doing so, doing like this, ଏଇଭଳି କରି, doing like this, in doing so ଅର୍ଥ ହେଲା doing like this. I mean, Leslang by playing disheartenedly, Leslang, yes, could not give better performance, and in doing so, ଏଇଭଳି କରି he pushed the writer, he helped the writer to go off, he helped the writer to do his best. ସେ ଲେଖକଙ୍କୁ ତାଙ୍କର ଭଲ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଛାଡ଼ି ଦେଇଥିଲେ. I remember that at that instant I landed from my final jump, the one which set the Olympic record of 26 feet 5 inches. He was at my side congratulating me. The writer remembered the event. The writer remembered the moment to the day. What happened? Yes, he remembered and said that day he had the highest record. That day he had the Olympic record in long jump. He jumped 26.5 inches. When he landed from one part of the take-up boat to another part, he saw that there was a boy There was a boy standing to congratulate him on his success, and he was none other than Louis Lang, his German counterpart. Yes. Despite the fact that Hitler glared at us from the stand, not 100 yards away, Louis shook my hand hard, and it was not a pack smile with a broken heart, sort of grip either. The lion says. It was fact. It was fact that Hitler was there. Hitler was there, not 100 meters away. 100 meter दूर मध्य नुहे हिटलर थे. Hitler was on the stage. I mean on the stand. Stand कहले stage को बुझोची. Hitler stage थे because he was the guest of the day. So he glared. Glare means look angrily. He looked angrily at both the writer and Louis Lang. He looked at the writer because being a German, because being an American Negro, he was able to win the gold medal by defeating a German counterpart. Right at the moment Hitler was angry on Louis Lang because being a worthy German player, being a hopeful German player, yes, the champion of Nazi-Aryan cause, he could not qualify for them. He could not defeat the German. He could not defeat the American Negro boy. He lost. He could not give a gold medal in long jump. But the writer did, but that day Louis Lang didn't care for that. किंतु सेदिन Louis Lang से कथा को खातिर करने थे. Yes, to show it more, to give the value to the friendship, he shook his hand more and more hard with the writer that day. Yes, again one thing was clearly stated that out of his expression, out of Louis Lang's expression, it was clear that there was grief in his heart. But the smile was on his face, which is written as a phrase, smile with a broken heart. It is a phrase, smile with a broken heart. There was smile on Louis Lang's face because of his help. The writer became the winner in in 1936 Berlin Olympics. Yes, but at the right time, he was sad too because he was also a player, and it is a dream of a player to be winner. What he could not be. Yes, being the worthy player, being the most trustworthy athlete of the country, he failed to give the country, he failed to keep off his reputation, he failed to keep off his promise, giving Hitler a gold medal in Berlin Olympics for long jump. Sort of grip either. Both the things could clearly expressed on his face. Yes. You could melt down all the gold medals and open and cuffs I have, and they would not be a painting on 24 plating under 24 karat of friendship. I fell for Louis Lang at that moment. The writer's mind completely got changed for Louis Lang. Yes, that day he had abundant faith in Louis Lang. He realized, I have many calves, I have many cells in my house. If you melt down all the calves and cells, yes, there would not be a gold plate of 24 karat. But that day he had received the understanding, he had received a great friendship from Louis Lang, was surely 24 karat friendship. I mean, he had much faith in Louis Lang. He believed Louis Lang a lot. He realized that Louis Lang was the best player. Louis Lang was the worthy player who could understand yes, his counterpart, his opponent. I realized then too that Louis Lang was epitome of periodic Kavartin, founder of the modern Olympic Games. Must have had in his mind when he said, the important thing in the Olympic Games is not winning but taking part. The essential thing in life is not conquering but fighting well. Yes, also the writer remembered the founder of modern Olympics, the father of modern Olympics, Periodic Kavartin, because Periodic Kavartin had said, yes, it is not important to win in the Olympic Games but to take part. So Periodic Kavartin had said it verbally. The important thing in the Olympic Games is not winning but taking part. Olympic खेଳରେ जीति जीवाटा बड़ कथा नहीं, सबठु बड़ कथा हला अंश ग्रहण करिबा. Who had said it orally? Periodic Kavartin, the founder of modern Olympics, had said it orally. But being the epitome means incarnation, avatar, pratimurti boli kahiba. Yes, but being the incarnation, being the epitome of periodic quarantine. Lang proved it practically. Yes, though he failed to get the gold medal in Berlin Olympics in long jump. Yes, he helped the writer a lot. He did the duty of a worthy player. Yes, to win the writer the gold medal in Berlin Olympics. Yes, he didn't care for his own winning. He cared for the writer's winning. Not the writer's winning. He gave value the real fighting the real potentiality should be the winner. जा पाखरे दक्षता अच्छी से जीतिबा दरकार ता ऊपर से बहुत गुरुत्व देइथिले. Yes, the essential thing in life is not conquering but fighting well. He also didn't support yes, by following the unfair means to be winner. Yes, you fight directly, you fight in right order and be a winner. This is all, students, this is all about the chapter My Greatest Olympic Prize. If you feel any sort of ambiguity, if you feel any sort of problem to understand the chapter, then you may ask each and every word and line or anything. Yes, I am ready to explain you, I am ready to give you the meanings. Yes, anything more to discuss? The chapter My Greatest Olympic Prize is over. Thank you.